Okay, guys. I came to an epiphany that I had after reading certain parts of my books and biology that there's something terribly wrong with what's going on with the way we eat foods and stuff like that. Basically, the protein chains and the protein amino acids. Um, People were not meant to drink water with their protein. Proteins are hydrophobic. They don't like water. So basically, you're killing yourself if you drink protein with water, uh, because of the bond of the protein, how it acts. Uh, I'm making this video for my family so that they can understand it to help them out. When a protein doesn't get folded properly before it goes into the cell, and then the cell goes into muscle tissue or organs in your body, it becomes damaged, which gives you diseases and kills you faster. Mental diseases, losing your mind quicker. Uh, you get diseases like gout and stuff like that. Basically, when you eat a protein, it has to fold. Protein cannot fold in temperatures under 40 degrees, or I want to say under anything under 50 degrees. If your body's cold, a protein cannot fold properly. Anything over 80 degrees, a protein unfolds itself as well. Uh, when a molecule, let's say this is the protein cell, and it's open. When the protein is going in your blood cell, it folds into, like, I want to say a diamond shape, and plugs into the cell. So that's a normal folding of a protein. So when you eat chicken or fish or something, the cell folds in order for it to be used. So if the cell is very very cold or very very hot, under 40, under about 45 degrees, around there, to be safe, maybe 50 degrees below, I'm sorry, not below, but 50 degrees, under your normal temperature, or 80 degrees higher than a normal temperature. I'm sorry, maybe I want to say body temperature 98.6, or anything higher than that, the cell might unfold. So if it's going into the cell, it unfolds and gets trapped in the cell before it has time to bond correctly. So basically, what this means is if this happens or continues to happen, uh, if it goes in your liver, your kidneys, or anywhere that the protein cell goes in order to do what it needs to do, you can die way quicker with mental disorders and a bunch of problems, thinking problems, memory problems, because the bond didn't form correctly. So if you eat, the safest thing to do is only eat eggs, chicken, fish in the winter, and you can't drink it with any water because water makes the cell unfold. So if the cell's being plugged in, you have to wait at least 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours in the summer before drinking water after eating a protein, because once water is introduced and it's floating in the cell, it opens and latches to the cell in order for it to be usable. So water, protein is hydrophobic. It's not made to be used in with water until the cell has had enough time to plug into a blood cell and they carry oxygen to your brain. So protein is the main thing that carries oxygen to your brain. So basically, you should wait at least 30 minutes to an hour or 2 hours in the summer, and in the winter you need to at least wait an hour to 2 hours before drinking water with proteins, unless your body is very very warm or you have a really high body temperature all the time. You can know this by touching your stomach. If it feels warm, then you have a high core body temperature, which your body can metabolize the protein. um, so that means everybody who's drinking protein shakes, eating hamburgers, and then drinking a lot of water, it's actually bad to drink water with your protein or drink any protein shakes, because you're causing yourself cell damage that's so severe that it could kill you a lot faster. So most people don't make it. That's why a lot of bodybuilders are getting cancer and a bunch of weird stuff because of the intake of water right after they eat proteins. And I guess you could survive a lot longer if you separate the protein molecules, and then later introduce a carbohydrate like a baked potato or a simple sucrose sugar, which will help the the peptide and the protein to bond. So people weren't meant to eat all different types of food in one sitting. They were meant to eat all different types of protein in one sitting and all different types of carbohydrates in one sitting. But the protein has to come first, the carbohydrate comes second, and the water can be introduced with the carbohydrate. So you can eat a protein an hour and then wait an hour and then have your potato and then wait 30 minutes to an hour and then have a glass of water to drink, which will actually help synthesize the protein in your body and metabolize it to be used. So um, basically, you won't be killing yourself if you do this. I don't know why this is not known or not, or why it's unknown to most people. I looked up the folding of a cell. I can't remember the exact specific name for this, um, but I looked it up online, and there's was only 3 search results that came out. Nobody knows, or it's being hidden from people. I don't understand why, but it's basic biology, and to basic biology to come with common sense, you should actually know this, and nobody knows this, which is crazy. Um, this shouldn't be happening, and there's basic knowledge, you know. Uh, Sometimes the cell unfolds, and in heat, your cell can actually reverse unfolding. So you can reverse an unfolded protein cell uh, by really doing nothing, just not drinking anything. There's something in the heat also that would help you to refold the cell. I can't remember the name of it specifically. I'm trying to remember the name of the. I don't know if it's an enzyme or if it's a. What's the name of it? Uh, a chaperone. There we go. There's a cell of chaperone cell or an enzyme or polypeptide, something like that. I can't remember the exact name of it, but the chaperone helps you to refold unfolded protein cells. That's how everybody's getting along right now because of that. It refolds them in hot temperatures or in really cold temperatures. Nobody knows how they work, but they do work, and that's how people are surviving. But once they run out, you're in a lot of trouble because that's when the tissue starts breaking down, and that's where you can go into getting. That's where everybody gets diseases from. This is where it's coming from. This is where cancer comes from. This is where mental illness comes from. Anything damaging you, this is where it comes from. So if you understand this, cavemen and all these older generations of people didn't really have that much to do with this, or they actually knew what to eat. So basically, you're not supposed to eat hamburger meat in the winter. It's not supposed to be. You can eat fish, you can eat chicken, and you can eat any type of veggies. I'm still researching the veggie part of it, but I'm understanding most of this, how it works. But to understand this, protein doesn't work without a carbohydrate because of the creatine. Your body needs creatine in order to be healthy. Creatine comes from fish. You need a lot of creatine per day. Your body gets it from fish. Meat has the second highest amount, but it doesn't work without sucrose, which is sugar. Your body can't absorb it or metabolize it or use it. So it's a waste. You'll either you go to the restroom, get it out, or your body will damage some type of cells without the sucrose in it. So that's why I say when you eat meat, you need sugar afterwards, at least an hour, 30 minutes to an hour afterwards. You need your baked potato or some type of carbohydrate. Uh, Two different types of carbohydrates. One would be starchy, and the other would, well, light starchy, not heavy starchy. We're not meant to eat that much as we get older. We're meant to eat less. So you're actually supposed to, as you get older, you have to lower your meal intakes, or you'll die as well faster. So what this means is that you actually have to eat a small amount of sugar, a small amount of potato. You gotta understand your carbs, your simple carbs and your fast carbs. I'm sorry, simple carbs and your advanced carbs that are slow carbs. You gotta understand that there's slow carbs and fast carbs. 5 minute rice, 10-minute rice is a fast carb. It metabolizes in your body very fast, like a sugar. Same thing for sugar. It's a simple carb. I think it only has three bonds to it. And then potato is a slower carb. So eat a baked potato or something like that. It helps. I'm still trying to understand milk. So the only thing that's safe to eat is really hard cheeses, not soft cheeses. And for men, they shouldn't eat cheese at all because of the bond of the calcium deposit. So men shouldn't really have any types of cheese after at least 25, age of 25 to 30. They should stop eating it altogether. You'll get it from your veggies anyway. And you need to eat stuff like pumpkin seeds and any types of seeds with oils. So you need to take your fish oil and you need to eat your pumpkin seeds and you need to eat flower seeds because of the high concentration of magnesium, which actually breaks up the calcium deposits in your blood cells that will actually turn that into rocks, which actually gives you heart attacks and stuff like that, or strokes or other things like that. Spinach has a high concentration of magnesium, pumpkin seeds, and flower seeds. They all have high concentrations of magnesium, which will help you live longer and actually make you way stronger. They make your bonds in your muscles stronger, which make you stronger, which raises hormones because magnesium raises hormones. Um, and in nature, we usually don't find magnesium with potassium in most things except for bananas, which is kind of a good thing because they cancel out each other. And beans have a high concentration of, um, the calcium, so we need to stay away from beans. And we were always taught that beans are safe, but they're not safe for men. Beans are actually very dangerous since they have over 190 milligrams of calcium, and which could actually kill you a lot faster than we thought. So beans are not a safe food for a man in any form, shape, or how. Uh, so we look at cavemen as an example of how they lived a lot longer back then. We don't know that they lived longer, but since they started out, they actually survived a lot tougher than we can survive in our day and age. People in the Middle Ages started dying in the ages of 30, which was it, you know, the Middle Ages when there was a lot of beef and cheeses and stuff like that. But cavemen might have actually lived a little longer than that. Then the modern medicine came in and actually helped that to live way longer than that with antibiotics. If cavemen did die, they have to die of some type of infection, not from um, stuff that we die of, commonly now. Uh, they might have actually lived longer because of the diets that they had. So they usually ate seeds and stuff like that. But they stayed away from dangerous seeds. There are dangerous seeds, like the seeds that are on hamburger buns. Those are very, very dangerous. Your body can't break those down. So they get put in your gallbladder and if your gallbladder explodes, you'll die. So the basic concept of it is find seeds can be metabolized, and if you can't eat the seeds, find the oil that can be metabolized, like grapeseed oil, maybe what's that other oil that I use? Olive oil can be metabolized pretty quickly, but very low concentrations of them at separate times. So you take maybe a capful in the morning, not to drink it, but maybe to cook with it. A capful of oil in the morning, maybe a capful in the afternoon. I thinking that pumpkin seed oil might have a really, really, really good benefit to people just drinking it from the cap, at least twice a day. Since it breaks up magnesium, breaks up calcium, so it turns it into like powder. So if you ever see an experiment of magnesium and potassium, they don't like each other. They'll turn a rock of into a powder just by putting it on there. So should help you, but it could be dangerous in older people if they eat magnesium all of a sudden. Bananas have a lot of magnesium, so that might be why it was killing people, is that the magnesium is breaking apart in their blood because they're eating too many bananas and too many beans and all this stuff. So the rock breaks apart in their body, which leads to really bad problems. So once introduced, if you have too much if you don't start early, you can be in big trouble. So, that's the basic thoughts that I have, and that's what I know. Understand, and it's actually, you can see it in a philosophical way that all this was meant to work this way for a reason. Um, we're the ones actually killing ourselves with our diet and McDonald's and this and that. But basically, the understanding is, you can't eat certain proteins at certain temperatures of the day, and you can't have it with water. But you can't eat calcium too much for men. And women, it can be metabolized very well, but the smaller the bond, the smaller the calcium is in your system, the more it can be used. The bigger it gets, it becomes unusable. I need my knee. So basically, this is the basic understanding of what's actually going on and why people are dying a lot quicker. I'm still researching the other stuff that people eat and how it's made to be eaten. Carrots are actually a safe structure as once we thought. There's some people with a deficiency in carrots, but vitamin A, but the vitamin is actually pretty dangerous in itself. Um, it can be eaten as a survival food, or it can be eaten with calcium, which cheese and carrots. So to me, it doesn't make sense, but they actually cancel each other out, which keep you from absorbing them. When they're eaten together, they kind of get canceled out. I don't understand how this bond works yet, but I'm understanding that it does work in some way. So if you ever eat cheese, you have to eat it with a carrot. For some reason, they cancel each other out, like I said, and can help you more. I know you'll die if you don't have vitamin A. If you have a deficiency in you could die a lot faster, get sicker a lot quicker, but it could also do work in reverse. So the safest amount of a carrot would be actually the size of a quarter. If you could cut a carrot and put it on a quarter, that's as much that you need. I'm sorry. Anything higher than that is actually dangerous. Or it can actually work in reverse. Your body will reject it and actually make you sick in another way. You'll feel pains and weird stuff come across. The only reason I know this is because I've done it myself, and the more I eat a carrot, the more I'll get sicker a lot quicker for some reason. Um, there's a lot of reasons why people get sick because of the acids in the body. Some people are really high acidic, so it can't survive. Any germs or bacteria really can't survive inside of them, but they're opening themselves up to cancer and things like that. People with a low acidity don't really get cancer. Their bodies usually fight it off pretty well, and the more vegetables you eat, actually, the more your body is like 5 times stronger in actually increasing the acidity and the poisons that come in our foods to take them out quicker. So it makes it 5 times faster to get them out. Um, so doing that actually does, you can't make your body unacidic unless you eat things like baking soda. So you take antacids a lot. You try to take cranberry juice. You can lower your acidity with these things. Eat more vegetables, things like that. They'll help you to fight acidity, but you don't want a zero pH acidity. You need at least some type of acidity. So people with no acidity should actually try to increase their acidity just a little bit to keep healthy, because it actually kills bacteria in your stomach. So you can't go zero acidity on this, because it could work in reverse. Everything has its limit and everything in moderation. So um, acidity foods are, foods like meat, or very light versions of meat. The safest amount, well, for me, would be at least half an ounce of meat, of cow meat, hamburger meat. Chicken and fish and eggs are actually an okay form of meat. I don't eat very much of the eggs in the center. I try to just maybe half one, because of how much oils they have. But if you eat oils in the morning, they actually help you. So they help you a lot more. I've tried this as an experiment, and I actually lowered my triglycerides to a point where they went to 60, and they used to be at about 900. So I lowered them pretty well, too well. Um, since they were at 60, my body was using something else in order to combat the low portion of that. So my triglycerides were so low, and triglycerides are needed for energy for your heart and to grow your nails and your hair and everything. So you can't go zero acidity in there. So you actually, that's where the flower seeds come in. If you eat flower seeds, they raise your triglycerides. So you might want to one day flower seeds, one day pumpkin seeds, one day flower seeds, one day pumpkin seeds, to actually help you combat both forms of the problem. Once every 2 days, you take a fish oil to actually break down the clotting of the calcium. That those are the way these things work. That's what I know, and that's what should be done. So I look a mess. I just woke up. Well, you guys probably don't care, but I just thought I'd make this little video to share it on um, social media, so you can understand a little bit more of actually what's going on. There's this big secret out there, and nobody knows why, and you know, big secret. So, all right, well, peace out, guys. Take care.